Good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday to you. Welcome back to another episode of Project Joy Live. It's your triple shot of good vibes every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at that 9 a.m. Eastern Time hour. Usually every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I was scheduled to have Leah on Friday, and she wasn't feeling 100%. And one thing I have learned about children over the years is that I can push myself and have those different things that I need to do. I know I need to do, and I do it anyway, and all that fun stuff. But kids are like, they will tell you right up, absolutely not. I'm not I'm not doing this. And so she wasn't feeling 100%, and it was good. And then Monday morning rolled around. I had a lovely Mother's Day on Sunday. It was very restful, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to treat myself and continue to take that rest. So I did, but resting in a way where I was able to get some back end stuff done, stay in my PJs, get some things accomplished. And that was actually really great, and I'm so glad that I did that on Monday, because Tuesday, whew, yesterday ended up being the day that kept giving, and not necessarily in the greatest ways. Some things were great, but it was a very jam packed day, and I was really excited. I spoke on the Global Business Plaza Voices of the Plaza panel yesterday, and our conversation was around boundaries in business. And I found it wildly ironic because there was a lot in there, about making sure that we communicate our boundaries and things like that. And communication is so key. Like, we hear that all the time, but I think it really is important. And so I really, over the last, since the start of the year, one of my sort of declarations for the year has been my own personal value of the importance of communication, and not to let things fester. So if there's something that doesn't quite sit with you, right with you, do your best to express it. If there are things that are amazing, do your best to express those things. I mean, I think it's just as important to express yourself with the challenges that you're facing, as well as with the positive, amazing, wonderful things and people in your life. And so I really have been committed to that since the start of the year. And that's not always hard or easy, right? To express yourself, because you never really know what the response is going to be. And that was, in fact, the case yesterday. And then as I'm sort of like winding down from all of the craziness of the day, I found out that my aunt passed away. And so in that process, I mean, there's always, anytime someone that we love, someone in our family dies, there's other things that come along with that. There are other conversations that happen. And one of the conversations that my cousin and I had yesterday, which I'm so grateful to have the time that I spent talking to my cousin, because we don't talk very often. But we were talking about how much things have changed since our grandparents were around, and even her parents. And really, they were glue that held our family together. Everybody was kind of aware, because of our grandparents, of what was going on in the family, and with who, and who was well, and who do we need to pray for, and who do we need to go and visit, and all of these things, and who do we need to celebrate. And they were really good at being the glue. And with that, their passing has come so many changes in just the way that our family operates. And but all of that being said, I think that it's really amazing how my cousins and I are able to pick up and have a conversation, and after all this time, and talk about how we want to do better, with connecting, and staying is being each other's keeper. It's like I say all the time, we have gotten out of the realm of checking on our neighbors. We've gotten out of this time where and I've talked about this on the show before, where we're having, like, the neighborhood block parties, and everybody kind of gets together and there for each other. And we're just, it's a very different time now. And I miss the connection. I miss not just the connection, but the willingness and the intentionality of having conversations, of getting together, of being more intentional about the connections that we have within our families and our friends and all of those things. And all so yesterday was just like this sort of culmination of that. And it was a really tough day yesterday. And so I woke up this morning, I was very tired, and just got do what I normally do, which is get right to work because I love the work that I do. Got to get some planning done. And then we were getting ready for something very exciting that is happening this afternoon. I am not going to tell you what's going to happen this afternoon. You are going to have to wait, my friends, until Friday, when I'm on the show, to tell you about what's going to happen. But I am going to get an in-person hug today. You guys, I'm just telling you. I'm not going to tell you who. I'm not going to tell you where and all of that fun stuff. But I will share on Friday when I come on the show with Danielle. Um, Listen, Olivia Ambani is here. She's just running a little bit late. Her last meeting ran over, and she's like, I'm trying to get home. And so she's on her way, you guys. But once she gets here, we are going to be talking about the joy of travel and exploration. And this is something going to be a really fun topic, because I think there are a lot of notions that we have of saying, we're not going to be able to travel because we don't have money, or we don't know where to go, or we don't know people, we don't have the resources, we don't have the time. And I think that there are some ways that we can explore to that don't involve a lot of those things. And so we'll talk about it when Olivia comes on. Nonetheless, if you're joining us live or on the replay, head over to the comment section. Let us know where you're joining from and what is bringing you joy this lovely Wednesday morning. And Teresa's here in that VIP seat. She said, it will be such a charming afternoon. I'm so excited for you. I think it's going to be a charming afternoon too, Teresa. Now that you say it, I see what you did there. So listen, I was looking this morning about the national days today, and there's a couple that I was like, yes. Okay, but I have a poll that I want to share with you as we're chatting. Okay, so you're going to put a number 1, number 2, or number 3 by itself in the comments. Okay, the question is, do you like croutons on your salads? Press number 1 for yes, all the croutons. Number 2 for I like a couple, watching my carbs, like a little crouton here or there. Or number 3, no, thank you. I will pass on the crouton. So 1, 2, or 3 in the chat by itself, and then press enter. And we'll see what everybody says. In the meantime, it is National Crouton Day, and so that's why that we're asking that poll. It's also National Apple Pie Day, and I was like, you know what? Let me ask a poll about apple pie. Do we like ice cream on our pie, or no ice cream on the pie? But we're gonna stick with the croutons question today. But I love apple pie. I love apple cobbler. I love apples, period. One of my favorite seasons here in New England is apple season, when Clyde's cider mill opens in the fall time, and we go get the fresh cider and the fresh, all the apples, all the apples. I do not discriminate. So I, of course, would love to celebrate National Apple Pie Day. Also, thank a receptionist. Today is National Receptionist Day. And so I want to shout out to my daughter, Nina, who is a receptionist, and she's an amazing receptionist. She's been really learning on the job and and getting better and better as the days go on. It really takes an amazing energy to be the face of the company, be the one that people see when they come in, the first one they talk to. And so, wishing a happy National Receptionist Day to my daughter Nina. It's also National Frog Jumping Day. National Frog Jumping Day, you guys. And let's see what else is happening. It's National Third Shift Workers Day. I could never. I am so tired at night. I could never work overnight. So shouting out to all those people that work while we sleep, because I'm sleeping. It's also National Fruit Cocktail Day today, you guys, and I love some fruit cocktail as well. So that's always a good thing. Let's see. I am going to check in on our poll. And we have, do you like croutons on your salad? Yes, all the croutons. I admit it, that was me. That I'm one of the ones that said yes, all the croutons. But they've got to be, there's like a line. They've got to be crispy, right? Make sure the croutons are crispy, but they also need to um they don't need to break my teeth at the same time. You know what I mean? Like there was a line in there. So I like all the croutons. Also, the other half of the people said, I like a couple. I'm watching my carbs, like a couple croutons. We don't like to overdo it. And it's important. So yeah, if you're watching your carbs, just a couple go easy on the croutons. But I like the flavored croutons too, you guys, which I think is good. So at any rate, let me find my where did my poll go? Here we go. Thank you for participating in the poll today. Yes, it is Happy Nina Day for sure. And what else do we have going on today? We do have birthdays coming up later on as well, but we are going to take a super quick break. And when we come back, we are going to get into our conversation about the joy of travel and exploration. And then hopefully Olivia will be jumping on to join us here in a few. We'll be right back after this.
Breakthroughs are about more than you might think. They're about discovering who you are, digging deep, reaching to the core of your soul. They're about healing yourself, understanding your beliefs, creating a ripple effect. And it's not just those initial moments that matter. It's about using them to bring more joy into our own lives and the lives of others. It's about having fun, letting loose, enjoying every moment life has to offer. It's about finding a safe space. It's about creating connection. Join us each and every day for exclusive programming, special events, and a community to call home, where we invite you to explore, change the way you look at and live your life, and go beyond the breakthrough. So we ask you, are you ready? We'll see you online at thebreakthroughshow.com.
Welcome back, everybody, to Project Joy Live. It's your triple shot of good vibes, everybody. Let me know, what do you have in your cup this morning? I was given by one of my personal baristas that lives with me. I was given this giant Hello Kitty mug this morning is what I was given. And it's got my decaf with my, okay, so Oatly right now, I was at Oatly. I don't think it's Oatly. Hold on. something with oats. It's oat milk creamer, but anyway, um, it is white chocolate raspberry, you guys, and it is so good. So good, everybody. Teresa was saying back on our crouton question. She likes a mix of croutons and sunflower seeds for the crunch. I'm here for that. That sounds good, actually. I love any kind of nuts and seeds and things like that as well. Miss Sang D is here. She said it is a beautiful day to be here. It is in fact that. So, okay, this morning we are waiting for Miss Olivia to arrive this morning, and let's see here. So, the joy of travel and exploration is our topic today. And while we're waiting for Olivia to travel here, you see what it is, you guys? She was just trying to be on brand today. She said, I'm going to travel for part of the conversation today. Whatever we can do to connect the dots sometimes, everybody. But I think that we we really there is a lot of joy in traveling, exploring, and experiencing new places, people, and perspectives. And but what I was mentioning before, and this is the part of the conversation that I really want to talk about today, is that we sometimes overthink this idea of exploration, and we think, okay, I don't have the time to go on a long trip. I don't have the money to go on a long trip. Not in this economy. Have you guys seen the gas prices in the country right now in the US? And I've heard around the world as well, it's going up everywhere. And so there's this like, well, I can't go explore then. And I think sometimes we forget about the opportunities to explore in our area. And I want to give you a couple examples of this today because I know when Olivia comes on, she's going to talk to you all about traveling more outside of your area as well. But there's a couple things. One, I grew up here in southeastern Connecticut, and I feel like I did a lot of exploring, opportunities locally, not so much really places. And I was involved in a lot of things growing up. I was a performer. I sang on stage. I was acting. We would go often to close by places like New York or Boston or something like that. And so there was exploration involved, but there wasn't a lot of that I recall really exploring more local things, really understanding and getting to see really close by things and places. Or even, can we talk about exploring in the present moment, like just exploring what's in our vicinity of what we can see, because there's that part of it as well. And so it's also a a I think it's like I said, I think we overthink it. We think that it's got to be something that it's not. And so when I moved away for 20 years and came back in 2022 to this same area that I grew up in, and it has really been a time. I have been very intentional about I want to see things not just that I haven't seen before, but I want to pay more attention to the things that I have seen before. I want to explore a little further. I want to see things from a new perspective. And one of the first things that kind of jogged me into that space was when one of the first times we went to one of the biggest beaches that's close to me here in Connecticut with my children. And we had a great day at the beach. Kids were swimming, playing in the sand. They went on some rides. We have a little amusement park there. And then we went to go leave. And my daughter says to me, she was what, six at the time, seven, maybe seven, six, I think six at the time. She said to me as we're walking to the car, "Mom, you were so lucky to grow up here." And I thought to myself, that's really interesting because I don't remember saying that growing up. A lot of times we take for granted the exploration of things around us. We don't see those things that are very close to us. And so the other thing, the other day I mentioned Happy Mother's Day to all those that celebrated on Sunday. And on Sunday, it was a very quiet day. I did a couple little things online in the morning, and then I logged off for the day. I went outside. My husband grilled. My kids were riding bikes and jump roping and coloring the chalk and doing bubbles and all of that. And we had some weeds and things growing in the yard. And I took my phone out and I started identifying some of the plants in the yard, and I wanted to see what in the yard could be medicinal or could be edible or whatever else. And it was fun because in a past life, a lot of people don't know this about me. I did study herbalism, and so I kind of have gotten away from some of the more Sally homemaker witchy brewing practices in the house. But I always have kind of had that curiosity and that love for plants and their uses and all of those things. And so we were doing that in the yard. We harvested some plants and did some different things outside. But even just that process of exploring, right? What's right in your own yard? What's right on your street? What is in, like I said before, the vicinity of what you can see with your own eyes? I think sometimes we forget that to explore doesn't automatically mean you've got to travel far or spend a ton of money. And then we also get into another conversation, which many of us are operating in the realm of working our businesses virtually. And what happens when we start working online is things start to be more in a come into your awareness more in a global sense, right? We're connecting from people all over. I have a map on my bulletin board where I have a push pin in the map for all of the places people have ever been on the show. I think we've had, I don't know, 26 or something countries represented on the no, more than that. I think we've had almost 30 countries represented within the Breakthrough Show network between guests and co-hosts and hosts and all of that. But it's a it's a an expansive thing when we're meeting all of these global people. And so I think another way for us to travel in a sense is to commit to connecting to people in a global level, and not just connecting with them but committing to asking them about what their life is like inside their bubbles, because we're over here in ours. We might never ever ever get the chance to travel and see the pyramids or something like that. I don't know. We could make a decision to go and do that, and align things so that we can do that. But the other, I'm taken to one morning a couple weeks ago when we were reading Dorothy's For Love poem, like we usually do in the early morning. And Daria came and she was at the pyramids, and she literally reading the For Love poem, and the pyramids are in the background. And it was the coolest thing because I don't know, maybe one day I'll go there, but as of this point in my life, I've never seen the pyramids in person in Egypt. And so she was there, and to see them behind her, like, it was such a cool way to sort of virtually travel in the moment and ask her about them and get to see them and have an experience. Does it match, you know, being there in person? No. But there are ways for us to explore and expand our knowledge, our awareness, um our willingness to explore by simply connecting with other people on a global level. Teresa's saying, when my car was in the shop, we got to explore a local trail that used to be a railroad line back in the day. The trail is historical and educational with markers that tell us about the local birds. That's very cool. Very cool. And Teresa was there that day. It was so cool. With Daria comes on, and I'm like, is that a backdrop behind her? And it was actual pyramids. I was like, wow, this is amazing. And yeah, it was talk about the markers and stuff that Teresa was talking about. When I lived in Florence, Alabama, there's a Walmart over there, and I noticed every time, and this is what I mean about exploring and paying attention to what's in your view. There was those historical signs. Sometimes they're a little more ornate than other signs in the city. The sign was next to the Walmart, and I was sitting there in the parking lot, and I'm always noticing this sign, but I never went over there. And so one day I made the decision. I said, you know what? Let me go see what that sign says. And I just walked over to the sign, and it talked about this being a historic marker for a slave plantation. Now this is more common in the South. And so, but this is not something that I was accustomed to seeing in New England, growing up in New England. Okay. And so, but I saw the sign, and I'm looking around, and I'm like, where? Well, then you could see like some stuff way off in the distance. And I'm like, let me go. So we went down there one day afterwards, and I have a ton of photos that I had taken. And it was such a cool thing to explore and learn about history and dig in and see something that if I would have just gone to Walmart like I always do, going shopping, not paying attention to anything else, I could have just let that sign pass me by. But I think when it comes to exploring, it's so important for us to start with the world around us because we take it for granted so often. All right, everybody, we're going to take a super quick break, 23 seconds exactly, because Miss Olivia is here. Let's do it. Good morning, Olivia. Good to see you.
Hello.
Listen, I am loving the leather jacket. We are
Thank
stylish
you.
this morning.
I actually went for a meeting that sort of ran me late. Where my first job ever that I got when after university, and it was for a fashion house called Kiko Romeo. So, in the spirit of fashion.
I love it. It's just so the hair, the gut. Listen, she's on point today. The earrings too. This
Thank
this
you.
is what's upsetting for me. I was saying this to somebody the other day. I love earrings. I have a whole drawer. I have so many. I love big hoops. I've gotten hoops. I'll look for like hoops that are like this big, and my kids are like, "Why, mom? Why do you have?" Because they're
Why
so
not?
cute. Why not? That's exactly it. And so, so when I'm wearing the headphones, though, I don't get to wear the earrings, and so
Yeah. So
so
you
you're
need
gonna
to,
wear them on our behalf.
yes, but you need to get the earbuds so you can show up the
Yes.
earring, right?
Yes. Yes. We need to maybe upgrade for the second half of the season this year. Maybe after summer break you'll be like, "Oh, she has earrings on now."
Yes, I don't remember that.
So I got started. We were talking about traveling and exploring, and what I kind of was talking about in the beginning was how we get this notion that we have to schedule a whole bunch of time and save a whole bunch of money and all of these things in order to go and travel and explore. But I was
Mm.
sharing about my experience of moving back home here after 20 years and realizing how much I never paid attention to exploring what was around me. So we started with that conversation today.
Yeah, and that's such a pivotal thing, because I've been thinking about it as well with just being in Kenya. Like, it's crazy how sometimes I explore more when people come visit, and I'm like, oh
Yes.
yeah, where should you go? And so I'm trying to be more deliberate about like traveling the country. I actually went to Iten, like the mecca for running in the world. So I was like, yeah, it's good to travel where you're, even your own city where you stay. Like, when was the last time you did something that maybe you think is touristy or is always there? Like, don't take it for
Right.
granted. Or even just walking a different route, like to work, or taking a different bus, and changing up your routine. You can learn so much and appreciate like what we have. Like here in Nairobi, we have a national park in the city, like just in the outskirts of the city, which is like such a rare thing to have. But how many people actually go there is, not that
Right.
many. It's mainly, yeah. So it's good to explore your country, your city, and don't take it for granted, guys. There's people who pay a lot of money to come explore
Right.
where you're from.
I know, and it's so funny. Like I'm in some of the local Facebook groups, and we live on the coastline here, and so this is a very touristy area, especially with Mystic. Everybody wants to go to Mystic Pizza because Julia Roberts and all all these things and everything. We have the seaport. This is the where I live right here is the submarine capital of the world. It's where all of the submarines are made at General Dynamics,
Wow.
and so there's a lot right here. And so it's a very touristy area, and I see all the time the way that local people complain in the local groups about like, oh, don't even bother going down there, the traffic is so bad or whatever else. But we're in this period of time where I feel like everything is so fast paced. Maybe the traffic would do you good. Maybe
Yes.
slow down and look at
Yes.
all of the beauty around you. God
I like.
forbid you
I
get like
agree.
paused in your car right in front of the beautiful view of the ocean. you
It's true.
know
I mean, sometimes I'm also wondering where people even running to. Like, literally, you'll be rushing, and I'm like, so many times it happens in traffic where you find someone's hooting, trying to overlap, and they're literally turning right there, like the next turning. So I'm like, wow, you've gone so far. Like, that was just magnificent. And I agree. Like, take time. And actually, when I went to Iten recently, like, that's what I loved. Like, when we were on the trip, there was a guy who was like trying to rush us, but we were just like, so that we didn't come all the way here to
Yes.
rush. We came here for slow pace, so we're gonna take it in. And we spent like a couple of hours in this place called the Viewpoint. So breathtaking. If you go look
Oh,
on my Instagram, I've posted a few photos and videos of the place, and literally you could stay there for hours. And I was like, we need to bring back like going according to the pace that we need. And I really don't think that development is this fast paced. I think it's the opposite. I think it's a downgrade, because
yeah.
we're rushing to do what and to go where. Like, most times, I think our society is breaking down because we're not pausing. We're not like, which time do you have to even process? Like, the
Right.
speed at which things are moving, it's not realistic. It's like you lose touch of yourself, of your family, of the things around you. But if we just took time, like, there's a reason why you're in that traffic. Do you know? Like, look to the left, look to the right, and just take it all in. Like,
Yeah.
we don't have to complain. We can just go with the flow,
Right.
which you've talked about.
Exactly. Exactly. All right. So, what are the things about traveling and exploration that bring you the most joy?
I think being out, like being in a different routine, I love it because it makes me pay attention to different things. And I love being outside. I'm an outside person. Like, I love both cozy inside and being outside. And I like when I'm traveling, I'm more attentive to nature and to my surroundings. I find like I'm not in just numbness. um, and I love like the people you meet on the way. Like you can meet some very interesting people. It's also like when you meet people who you know when you're traveling, it's like that almost a different person because they're in a different environment that may be more relaxed, more open to conversations. I love that. And I love what it teaches me about myself and life and just how huge the world is. Like,
Mm.
you can be so stuck in your own bubble and your own opinion and your own world. But when you travel, your mind is opened to the expansiveness and how the opportunity that actually exists. And yeah, so I feel like also for me, travel educates me. And I feel like it should be part of school in some way.
Yes.
Like,
Mhm.
just it doesn't have to be expensive. It could be that, you get the kids to go to different parts of the city you're in, or, just to visit the country. Like, I was fortunate to go to schools that encouraged travel, and, we'd go to the coast or we'd go, and it really changed the way I perceive the world.
Mm.
Yeah, so those are the things I like. What about you? What do you feel like travel or, yeah, does for you?
Well, I love learning. I'm very curious. I always love exploring new places, and I think that it also to travel also helps us to be, and this is what I was talking about a little bit about before, helps us to be more present and in the moment, because I think typically when we're on the sort of day-to-day grind that we're working and doing household stuff and all that, we get just in this routine of doing things and we're not really paying attention to what's going on around us. And so I think when we're traveling or making that commitment or having that willingness to go, hey, I'm going to explore something new, we are more focused and in the moment. I'd like to think. And then, like as you were talking too about school, I remember going on a lot of field trips with school where we would go somewhere together, but it was always to somewhere like a museum or somewhere like really, it wasn't like let's explore what's around us. Like I don't
Mm.
really remember it being like yes, we're gonna, but then it's also the question of like the different the different ways that we experience things depending on where we're at in our lives.
True,
So
true.
some of the places that I went to when I was younger, I suddenly have had this calling, if you will, to go back there now and see like how would I process and experience this place now, as
Mm.
opposed to maybe not having a certain level of appreciation for it when I was younger.
Yeah, that's actually a very good point. It's true, and I feel the same. Like, I recently went to a place I was born, and like I remember there were times we took it for granted, all the fresh air and just
Mm,
being in that space. And when I went back recently, I was like, I grew up with this.
yes.
It's
Yes.
the whole like, I was this lucky. Like, I was always like grateful, like, but it hit different because it's been almost 20 years since I'd been back, and like just realizing the privilege it is to be in those spaces. And it's very easy to just be like, yeah, yeah, that's just how it is. And but when you grow older, I think you start to realize, we used to do that. We used to go there. Like, this is something we do. And I think also as adults, it would be great for us to have a sense of wonder, which I think travel sometimes helps you with,
Mm.
like just explore. Don't be so rigid and like, this is my schedule and it has to be done like this. Like, the childlike wonder really helps when it comes to travel, because you can have the best laid plans, but travel has a funny way of being like, you think it's gonna go that way? No.
Right. I know. I know. You know what I was also thinking about is also travel can help you to bring a new appreciation for where you live. Like
True.
because you might experience things sometimes that you're like, I could never live like this all the time or whatever else. And so I think that's something to look at too. It gives you a new appreciation. And then what I was talking about too before you came on today was about how we have this sort of opportunity now that so many of us are connected globally on
Mhm.
in a virtual sense. we have this opportunity to sort of have this virtual travel, if you will, where we like, I would have never, ever 20 years ago thought that I would be talking to someone regularly in Kenya. Like, that's just not, that wasn't in our, it wasn't
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
And so, how many of us are connected globally and we're not taking the opportunity to ask questions about the culture and about what it's like, and maybe even explore coming for a visit, you know?
yes, that's it. And there's so much that we can do if we're open to asking questions, to sharing our like experiences. And like I remember when I was in university, it was a very interesting experience for me because I was in England and a lot of people were like obviously not aware about, like they knew Kenya, but they had their preconceptions. And so
Mm,
at times some of the questions could be quite irritating. And then I got to a point I was like, I could get really upset or irritated, or I could use this as a learning opportunity for both of us. And so I would like have some banter, but then I'd be like, okay, clearly you've not traveled there, so this is what I'm going to tell you about the space. And you learn so much by interacting with people and realizing that sometimes you're the person who get the chance to change someone's worldview, or at least give them a different perspective that they would not have had. And then also with travel these days, I'm like, call your friends. If you want to go somewhere, even with projects, like with music right now, I'm thinking about like traveling, performing. And honestly, the first people I want to call is my friends. I'll be like, do you know of a space there that I can come and perform? Because then you work your networks. And sometimes we're looking at travel in a very like rigid way. But call your networks. There's a couch or a bed you could go sleep in, and you could experience something that could totally change your life. So yeah, I'm all for that. It's true.
yeah.
And I think when you have friends from different parts of the world, I found like people are different. Like they just interact differently.
Yeah.
Um, if they're open. I must say if they're open is the word here. Because you become more open to seeing things in a different way. You become more curious and aware. And so I say, like, don't stay in your own bubble. Like, talk to people. It's not about always agreeing. Like, you, as you said, you can travel through content now. You can travel like this. Like, I'm in
Yeah.
Kenya, you're in the US, and we're
Yeah.
literally, so people are literally getting two countries at once. Like, how
I
lucky are
know.
we?
Buy one, get one free today on the Project Joy Live.
Two continents too.
It. Craziness.
you know?
It's so, it's so good though. There's so many things that can bring us joy, and just one of the words that keeps coming up for me lately is expansion,
Mm.
and it really helps to expand our knowledge, expand our connection. I'm going to be doing a topic very soon on Project Joy that talks about not needing to add more to experience joy. Is like we we have so much right here already. We are already well connected. We do not need to keep going on this quest that we're on. I mean, truly. And so it's so helpful, I think, to take a moment and slow down and realize how much is right in front of us already, and taking advantage of that. And then you have a whole new level of gratitude and appreciation for what's been right in front of your face the whole time.
100%, yes. And I think it's also even like, I think the older I grow, the more grateful I am for like things like movement, travel, like don't take for granted that you can move, guys, that you can literally get on a bus or walk somewhere, or even have peace. I think when you've been in a country that has had it for a while, you can get very comfortable. And like there are people who just wish they could have a day of just, I can walk outside. COVID, I think, taught us
Mm,
that. When we weren't allowed to go outside,
right.
and you have to stay within the confines of your compound or your house or whatever, and you're like, I didn't realize how much I like just being able to walk was I took for granted. So I think, if you have a passport and you can travel, or even forget passport, if you can take a bus, walk somewhere different, do it. Do it and pay attention. Pay attention and take it all in. Like, yeah, you don't need much, honestly, to travel. You just
You
need
don't.
your
Yep,
your
that's
two
it.
as we call it here, Futsubishi.
Futsubishi. Oh my God, that's fantastic. We are coining new words here on Project Joy Life. It's so good. All right. Before we get to birthdays really quick, Olivia, I want to ask you about the sounds of joy this week. What are the sounds that are bringing you joy this week?
Oh, I have many, but one of them has to be the little kittens we have. They've been purring in my ear, and like even today in the morning, I wanted them to like have a morning nap, and they were like purring. There was one who was like here on my shoulder, and one in my lap, and it was just kitten. If you've never had kittens and you've never like heard them purr,
The
oh,
purring.
the
Yes.
purring, it's so I was like, I was supposed to be doing work, but I was like, I'll just 5 minutes more, 5 minutes
She was in
more. And
kitten meditation. Kitten meditation.
I was in kitten meditation. Everyone should get a kitty, just even for a day.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what sounds of joy. What sounds of joy are you experiencing?
Oh, what is good this week? I think as much as they annoy me sometimes, I was getting back outside a little more now that the weather's acting right. And going outside and hearing the seagulls. The seagulls are a common noise here in southeastern Connecticut, and especially being so close to the water. And but it just kind of was that excitement. Like if you throw, there could be 56 seagulls and you throw one french fry and they're excited. They're just rah, 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 like the whole thing. And it just makes me laugh. Like they don't even care. They don't care how annoying they are. They don't care how loud they are. They just are themselves. And so that was my sound of joy reminder this week of like I hear the seagulls and I'm like, summer's coming. It's good.
Yay!
It's
That's so
good. So that's
exciting.
my yeah, that's my silly sound this week. My silly sound. All right, it's time for birthdays. Are we ready? Here we go.
Happy birthday to you.
All right, everybody. In the world of celebrity today, actor Robert Pattinson, you might recognize him from the Twilight movies. He is turning the big 40 today. Happy 40th birthday. Actress Debbie Ryan, you might remember her from a lot of Disney shows. She was also in Netflix. I think it was called Insatiable. That was a really fun series. Debbie Ryan, 33 years old today. Country singer Morgan Wallen is 33 years old today. The incredible Stevie Wonder is 76 years old today.
Wow, wow.
Love it. Actress Candace King from Vampire Diaries, among other things, is 39 years old today. Talk show host Stephen Colbert is 62 years old today. Dennis Rodman is 65. Richie Valens, an incredible musician, songwriter that passed away in 1959, had a birthday today. And one of my favorites, lead singer of Hootie and the Blowfish, and also has had an amazing solo career, Darius Rucker, is the big 60 today, 60 years old. I cannot believe it because he looks so young. He really does. He really does. But I love some Hootie and the Blowfish, let me tell you. So good. And then the celebrities in my life, Donna Macrino has a birthday today. Happy birthday, Miss Donna. Also, Brennan Motts and a dear friend of mine who was also in the Friendship Paradox film, Angela Scott Little, has a birthday today as well. Anybody you're celebrating today, Olivia?
Not today, but I'm wondering if it will fall. Yeah, I think it will be by the time we're having the next episode.
Okay.
So I'll say that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, let's get our birthday song on. Here we go. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, dear Robert, Debbie, Morgan, Stevie, Candace, Stephen, Dennis, Richie, Darius, Donna, Brennan, and Angela. And I've lost my singing partner. Here she's back. Here we go. Happy birthday
birthday
to you. We pulled it
you.
together. Happy birthday to all those that are celebrating. Hope you have an absolutely amazing day. What do you have going on, Olivia? Anything you want to tell the people today?
Um, right now, no, just the music career mentorship program that's taking up most of my time, and lots of other things. When they pan out, definitely we'll be talking about them on the show. Yeah. What about you? Any exciting things?
Excited. So coming up this afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern time, we have another episode of Beyond 2D with Farhan and I, and we have been having a wonderful time talking about being a peacemaker. Being a peacemaker, what does it mean to have more peace in your life and bring peace to other people? So be looking forward to today's episode, 2 p.m. Eastern time here on the Breakthrough Show Network. I was sharing earlier on the show, I've had a ton, just a ton of going on lately. And I am excited about all the things that are happening. I've had a been working on my personal brand, which is something that I haven't done in a very long time, and it's coming together, and I'm very happy with taking a long time, but I'm being intentional about it.
Yay! That's wonderful. You deserve all the attention. You do.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And so I'll be back here on Friday with Danielle Valero. We're going to be talking about all of the most recent nostalgic news from the 80s and 90s. There's an announcement today of who's going to be appearing next at 90s Con. So I'm on pins and needles over here, you guys, but I'll have that info for you coming up on Friday. Thank you for being here today, Olivia. It's always great to spend time with you.
Thanks for having me. So glad I made it. I was like,
Yes.
but I was like, gotta make it. Going with the flow, but made it.
Yes. You have to do what you have to do sometimes. And it's okay because you came in stylish and ready to go. That's right.
Yes.
All right, everybody. I'm your host, Jessica Dugas. This is Olivia Ambani, and we want to make sure to remind you to make joy a priority in your life today and every day. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.